Welcome to Dan's On Fandoms. I'm Dan. In Chapter 14 of The Mandalorian, Djarin and Grogu travel to the ruins of a Jedi temple on the planet Tython after Ahsoka Tano advised Din to take Grogu to the planet and bring him before a seeing stone. Their hope was that Grogu would be able to use the Force to connect with another Jedi, which would allow Grogu to choose his path in potentially being trained to become a Jedi Knight. Once Grogu and Din came upon the seeing stone, Grogu sat atop the stone, began to meditate, and the youngling became encircled by a blue force field that Din wasn't able to penetrate. So, what exactly are seeing stones, how do they work, and have we seen them before in canon? Let's first start with what we know about seeing stones, which, sadly, isn't very much at this time. All we know about them is what we've gotten from chapters 13 and 14 of The Mandalorian. According to Ahsoka, Grogu could use a seeing stone to reach out to other Jedi across the galaxy, so it appears that these stones are some sort of long-range communication devices that Jedi of old used to connect with one another through the Force. In Legends, Tython was the birthplace of the Jedi Order. Although this has not been established in canon, Favreau and Filoni have continuously dipped into Legends to create the story of The Mandalorian, so I think it's quite conceivable that Tython will wind up being considered as a possible birthplace or one of the earliest settled planets of the Jedi Order. In my review for Chapter 14, I mentioned that maybe the Jedi or its predecessors sprung up in multiple places throughout the galaxy. In the current canon, the Jedi Order was formed in roughly 25,000 BBY, so there's a possibility that the technology during that time could have limited long-range communication across the galaxy or made communicating across the galaxy impossible. If that were the case, and if light-side Force sensitives were spread out across the galaxy, seeing stones could have been used by Force-sensitive beings to communicate with one another across vast distances. This seems like a very strong possibility to me, since I believe we've seen a seeing stone in canon before Chapter 14. In The Last Jedi, while on Ahsoka, which is currently considered the birthplace of the Jedi Order, we see Luke and Rey use a stone that is somewhat reminiscent of the stone on Tython. While we don't see Luke or Rey surrounded by a blue force field or runes that illuminate when the two sat on the stone and channeled the Force, we did, however, see Luke use the Force to project an image of himself across the galaxy while he sat on that very stone and channeled the Force. At one point in The Last Jedi, Luke is even able to reach out with the Force and connect with Leia as the Jedi Master stood with his hands placed on the stone in the Jedi Temple. Places where ancient Jedi resided, such as Ahsoka, Jeddah, and potentially Tython, could have used seeing stones to commune and connect with one another through the Force over far-reaching distances. Places such as Ahsoka, Dagobah, the Jedi temples on Coruscant, and Lothal are considered vergences in the Force, meaning there was an unusual yet naturally occurring concentration with the Force, localized around those places. If Tython is revealed to be one of, if not, the earliest settled planets of the Jedi Order, it could also potentially be a vergence in the Force, which would mean that Force sensitives that found themselves on the planet could have stronger interactions with the Force. Basically, if Tython is a vergence, the planet would act like a Force amplifier, making it easier for Force sensitives to communicate across the galaxy through seeing stones. If Tython winds up being considered a possible birthplace or even one of the earliest settled planets of the Jedi Order, it would make sense that the planet is a vergence in the Force. So, how exactly do seeing stones work? If we go by what we've seen in The Mandalorian and The Last Jedi, a Force-sensitive being must concentrate deeply and reach out with the Force, allowing other Force-sensitive beings to connect with them. In The Mandalorian, Grogu meditated very deeply in an attempt to connect with a Jedi and found himself enclosed by a blue Force field. In The Last Jedi, Luke can be seen reaching out in the Force with immense focus, which causes the Jedi Temple to rumble, allowing him to connect with an unconscious Leia. Likewise, when Luke Force projected himself during the Battle of Crate, we can see that the Jedi Master had to deeply concentrate, focus, and dip into a vast amount of his Force power to achieve the desired technique. So yeah, my thought is that seeing stones were used by ancient Jedi to communicate with one another over vast distances through the Force. This is something that I think would be super cool, especially if we continue to learn about other ancient Jedi temples, outposts, and settlements. Maybe we'll get some information on seeing stones in upcoming High Republic content, which would be super dope. But what do you guys think? What exactly do you think seeing stones are? Let us know down in the comments. If you like this video, please help out the channel by hitting that like button, making sure you subscribe, and as always, stay nerdy.